Today we're here to talk about the bike lanes, specifically the new striped bike lanes on 5th Street North in Grand Rapids. I'm Betsy Johnson. I'm co-chair of the Get Fit Itasca initiative, and here with me today is Megan Bowen, the Community Health Director for Get Fit Itasca. We'd like to talk a little bit about bike safety, car safety, why we have striped bike lanes in the downtown business district, and how all of us can work together better to share the road and encourage active transportation and physical activity. Megan, can you tell us why we have bike lanes on 5th Street North in Grand Rapids now?
Well, Get Fit Itasca is really excited about the new bike lanes. The goal of Get Fit Itasca is to create an environment that is susceptible to health. So how can we work together as individuals to create an environment that welcomes healthy people? And by adding bike lanes, it helps us to create that environment that makes people more apt to participate in healthy behaviors.
And bicycling is very healthy, active transportation, and the more we can fit activity, physical activity, into our normal daily routine, the more physical activity we'll get. And our community, we are very lucky, has worked very well with us to encourage the built environment to be conducive to physical activity. So how did we pay for this?
Well, the payment through these projects was a joint effort between the City of Grand Rapids and Get Fit Itasca. Get Fit Itasca received a grant from Blue Cross Blue Shield, an Active Living for All grant, that helped pay for the bike lanes portion of this project. The City of Grand Rapids then paid the remainder, so they in essence paid for the automobile striping and the parking striping.
So why 5th Street?
5th Street was a good match because we've done assessments of the community, and part of our goal is to create destination routes, and 5th Street is a great destination to the downtown business district. Ogle's Market is on the other end. It's also a good alternative to Highway 2. It allows you to reach some of those same destinations, but actually has lesser traffic because it's not a main highway.
You know, the other thing that strikes me as a bicycle commuter is this is really the path that connects the west side of Grand Rapids to the east side of Grand Rapids on the north side of town. Previously, I wasn't sure as a bicyclist which was the safest route to go, and it's been very helpful to me to know that this is a designated place where bicyclists are protected and allowed.
Well, you know, over the years through Get Fit Itasca and with the support of the city and the help of the city, we've really done a great job within the City of Grand Rapids to create a non-motorized network. And actually, the northwest quadrant of the community is kind of the last community to be connected to that non-motorized network. There seems to be less opportunities for a non-motorized off-road multi-use trail system, how we can connect the system into the northwest side. So this is really that first step in connecting the northwest side to the rest of the non-motorized system.
So is there a way that people can give feedback? I understand this is a trial run for striping, that this isn't a final situation on 5th Street. Say more about that.
Yep, 5th Street is actually up for a reconstruct in 2016. And in preparation for that reconstruct, the bike lane concept has kind of been an idea that we've played, but we didn't want to just pull the plug and do something permanent instantly in case it wasn't a good fit for our community. We want to make sure that we're working with the community to meet the needs of everyone, cyclists, drivers, everyone that uses the road to share the road. So in preparation for that reconstruct in 2016, we really wanted to do a trial to find out how the community would respond. Would it actually increase bike ridership? So we are learning some things, and we do want feedback, absolutely. You can give feedback on the Get Fit Itasca webpage, www.getfititasca.com. There is actually a survey, and we'd love to hear your responses to the survey. And at the same time, there's also an open comment at the end of the survey where you can give that feedback back to us as well. And please, we want to hear both positive, negative, any type of comments that you have about the bike lanes would be greatly appreciated as we move forward to assess the effectiveness of our trial.
And I understand there's already been some feedback.
Yep.
and it has to do with intersections. There are several types of intersections striped. And we had the opportunity to talk with Julie Kennedy, the city engineer, this morning. And the city is going to restripe the intersections to make it more clear. And we'll do a demonstration on bicycle, but essentially there are dotted lines to make a right turn, and there are solid lines to make a right turn. And the way to use it as a bicyclist is stay in your lane. As a car, when there's a solid line, stay in your lane. When there's a dotted line, you look to see if there's a bike. If not, you can go into the far right next to the curb in order to make your right-hand turn. So try and remember that. Solid lines mean don't go out of your lane, and dotted lines mean you can move out of your lane.
Just like when you're driving a car in your center turn lanes. If it's dotted, you can pass. If it's solid, you don't pass.
Exactly. And I think it's important for people to remember that their bicycle is their vehicle, and that they are to follow the rules of the road just as if they're driving a car or any vehicle. The other way that we can, you can learn more about bicycle safety and rules of the road, we put together, Get Fit Itasca put together a short video that describes the bike lanes, how to use them, and has some rules of the road for how to ride your bike safely. And that will be posted on the ICTV website for you to watch. Thanks, Megan.
Thank you.
Our next person that we'd like to talk to today is a member of the police department. His name is Bill Saw, and he's going to share some of the observations that the police department and the city have made, and talk to us a little bit more about safe bike riding and safe vehicle traffic to share the road with a bike. Hi, Bill.
How's it going today?
Good. Thanks for talking with us about bike safety and sharing the road between cars and bikes.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here today.
Yep. So can you tell us, from your observations and from feedback you're getting around City Hall, what are bicyclists doing on the bike lanes and around the intersections to create unsafe situations?
Well, one complaint that we've been getting is that bicyclists are not stopping at the stop signs on 5th Street, whether you're going eastbound or westbound. The biggest thing that bicyclists need to understand is that they have to follow the same rules that a car or a motor vehicle has to. So if there's a stop sign, you got to come to a complete stop. If there's a red light, you got to stop. You got to, if there's a right-of-way issue, you have to, just as if you're in a car. So if you're at the four-way stop here at 5th and Pekag, and you're in this bike lane going westbound, and a car is going to make a left-hand turn, and they stop before you do, technically they have the right-of-way. But a problem motor vehicle drivers are having is they're kind of afraid to make that turn because they're not sure if that bicyclist is going to stop or not.
Very good.
Hence, it'd be helpful with the hand signal and slowing down.
So can you show the hand signal again, what it means?
That's stop.
Yep.
And then, of course, your left-hand turn, and then the universal, everything we're going to the, is doing your right arm for a right-hand turn. Instead of, otherwise, the traditional right-hand turn is up like that.
Yes. Made me think. I'm a bicycle commuter. I better use the right signals. Thank you. How about car drivers? What are they doing to create unsafe situations when there are bikes in the intersection?
I think it's just drivers not being knowledgeable about what bike rules are and what their rules are or what they should be, looking for. I think it's all parts. If you're a driver in a motor vehicle or on a bike, you just need to be defensive, and you need to be, you're looking out for yourself and your safety. So being a defensive driver, to being a defensive bicyclist is the best advice that I can give.
Okay.
So that means looking out for the bicyclists, and if you're a driver, you need to be looking out for, if they're going to be making a turn or if they're coming to a stop. Same if you're on a bike, you got to be watching what those cars are doing for your safety and for their safety.
Very good. So when you're on a road that is not marked with a bike lane and you are in a car and a bicyclist is at the intersection and going to go straight and you're going to turn left in your car, do you hurry up and turn left and beat the bicyclist, or do you yield to the bicyclist going straight and then make your left turn?
You should yield. If it's just an uncontrolled intersection and you're going to make a left-hand turn and there's a bike coming, straight at you, that bike has the right of way. Now let's say there's a stop sign you should still make sure that bikes can stop before you make that left-hand turn, just so you don't create a collision. So that goes back to being a defensive driver.
Yep.
But yes, if it's an uncontrolled, the person going straight has the right of way.
Very good. Any other tips you have where we can all share the road more safely?
Just again, it comes down to being aware that there's going to be more bikes because we have the designated bike lanes and we're promoting that, and drivers just need to be more aware of that they're out there, be looking for them, especially when you're making your right-hand turns or your left-hand turns. That's when bikes can be the most vulnerable, same as if you were a motorcycle. Another thing is wear your helmet, and like those hand signals, they will help, even though again, we'll review so drivers understand. If a bicyclist goes the hands down, that's stop. This is for a left-hand turn, and then if you put your right arm for a right-hand turn. So
very good. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Now we're going to hit the road. We are going to demonstrate proper turning by a bicycle and a car in an intersection in the two ways. We've got the dotted bike lane where the car moves all the way to the right next to the curb to make their right turn, and we've got the solid line on the bike lane where the car stays in their lane to make the right-hand turn.
So here we are on 5th Street North heading eastbound, and Kayla, our intern, is going to be on the bicycle here. We're going to be demonstrating what the proper way to make a right-hand turn is when you have a bicyclist. So let's say I want to make a right-hand turn here on 1st Avenue Northeast. Obviously I'm not going to cut in front of Kayla, or if she was behind me. I'm going to make sure there's no other bicyclists coming, make sure there's no pedestrians crossing the crosswalk before, and make sure it's totally safe before I make this right-hand turn here. And that's just demonstrating the proper way to make a turn with the bike lanes.
And I see that you stayed in the traffic lane. You didn't try and merge over to the curb.
Correct, yep. I stayed within the, it's a solid white line, so I did not merge over. Okay, so here we are on 5th Street North heading westbound, approaching 38. Here's where we have the striped lines. The proper way to use these is we have a bicyclist in the bike lane. We're going to yield to the bicyclist, make sure there's no other one coming, and then we'll safely move over into the right-hand turn lane here to go north on 38. As you can see, our bicyclist, she's stopped completely at the intersection. That's the proper way to make a right-hand turn with the striped lines.
Today we've taken a ride in the police vehicle to learn the appropriate and correct ways to make right-hand turns when there are bicyclists in the bike lanes, and we've experienced taking a right-hand turn from a solid line striped bike lane and in a dotted line striped bike lane. I hope that you have learned a bit about how to more safely share the road, bicycles and cars, motor vehicles, and I hope everyone has a safe and physically active summer.